What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. It is an IMR video and we are going to be talking about the heroes that are getting a rebuff or a rework if you want to call it. Don't forget Aptoide is live again from, was it yesterday? Yesterday until the 12th of April. We're now getting a nearly 2-week period of using the code for an extra 5% on all purchases, as well as the initial 10% up to 20%. So effectively you can save 25%. The new code is carzak TB5. So if you want to support me in my channel and save yourself a little bit extra money as well, start using Aptoide. Link in the description below. I'll show you how to use it, install it, and I'll show you your savings as well. Okay, so the rework is here. Now, yes, I know it's been here for a few days, 5 or 6. So I apologize that this hasn't come out sooner, but we will talk about it. We will go through it. I haven't actually looked through it yet. All right, I know I always do this, and I probably should start looking through it before I actually make the video, but I like to give a initial reaction as well. Okay, so Horus is the first one in the list. Now Horus has had a rework before. It wasn't enough. Okay, it wasn't enough. So let's see what they've done. Before his Storm of Crows, which I believe is his ultimate, right? We're going to go to the Bloodthirsty Sickle first. That was the one there. I've scrolled down somehow. Bloodthirsty Sickle deals 2 stages of 100 to 140% attack damage before each to a single enemy. I don't think the Inferior Severe Wound has changed. And I don't think the final part of that has. But afterwards, it's going to deal 2 stages of 290 up to 330% attack damage to a single enemy. All right, that is a huge boost in damage. It's over double. It's over double. So that's huge. And then Storm of Crows was 70 to 90% attack damage to all enemies. Now he's going to be dealing 3 stages of 150 up to 180% attack damage each to all enemies. So it's doubled. Okay, that is a huge amount. All right, and these are the figures that we need to be seeing on an attacking hero. These are good. He is going to slap. Okay, he is going to slap. And no doubt about it. If you have Horus from before, you have him at E3, he is going to be a solid hero. Okay, and he's going to pair up nicely in some of these teams now. Erosion, his passive. Horus additionally gains 32 up to 48% crit damage when his health is above 50% and 16% to 24% leech if his health is no more than 50%. Well, afterwards, he's now going to gain 55% up to 75% crit damage, which is a chunk, when his health is above 50%, and 20 to 40% leech when his health is no more than 50%. So he's also going to be doing a nice job at survival. This is his ancestral power. This is his ultimate. This is his first active skill, Storm of Crows. But this basic attack here, with pursue and attack and counter attacks, this is a nice amount of damage going on. But it's ancestral power. So before it dealt 580 up to 700% attack damage to a single enemy, inflicting severe wound on them for 2 turns. The lower the target's health. Am I in the screen? I'm having to move over out of the way a little bit here. Yeah, I am in it. The higher the damage, this skill deals up to 870 to 1050% attack damage. This has changed. He's now dealing 750 up to 900% attack damage to a single enemy. A 200% increase. That's nothing to be shy about. That's a lot. But not only that, this is also increasing a 1300 up to 1450% attack damage. Okay, so how good is he going to be against bosses now? That's the question. That's the question. This like I said, this is a ton increase. All of this is a huge increase to Horus, okay? Exclusive 1, Storm of Crows deals 60% more damage to a target whose health is below 50%. And that's what it was. And afterwards, it's 100% more damage to a target whose health is below 50%. So not only has the skill's been buffed, also his exclusive 1 has been majorly buffed by an extra 40% damage as a whole. Okay, as a whole. It was 60% more damage. Now, this 100% damage theoretically means if the enemies are below 50%, say you've got another nuker on your team and you've reduced them under 50%, obviously, you're not going to be doing 180% attack damage. You're going to be doing 360% attack damage to all enemies. Right? That's the way we look at that because it's an extra 100% damage in total. So that's a huge one for Horus. It'll be interesting to see how he plays out now in the game. Is he going to be much more worth it? Let me know on that. The next one up is Gunner. Gunner, again, a really old hero. One whose burn actually was useful to begin with, has dropped off majorly. They've reworked him. Inferno Lance, but there's not much of a rework on this one. But Inferno Lance, before, dealt 200 up to 240% defense damage to a single enemy, and a 40 to 60% chance to inflict 1 layer of burn. That's now increased by double, 360 up to 400% defense damage, 50% to 70% chance to inflict 1 layer of burn for 2 turns. So that's a nice increase. Not much of an increase to chance to inflict, but that's still high anyway. But this damage is nice. And after and before on Lance and Shield Strike, before he removed all enemy shields, then deals 100% defense damage to all enemies with a 40 to 70% chance to inflict 1 layer of burn for 2 turns. Afterwards, he's going to remove all shields still, but he's going to be dealing 400% defense damage to all enemies with the same amount of chance to inflict. It's going to be interesting to see if this defense damage is going to be substantial or not. Can we get enough defense to make this enough? Because what does Gunner's burn scale off again? Is it just his mastery? Or no, it does scale off defense as well, doesn't it? I think he could be a niche use somewhere. He was already good. I'm interested to see how much... I mean, that is 300% extra defense damage. I think Gunner could be an interesting one to test out. Igor, the friggin' nightmare... that when he was introduced to the game, he was so bad. Okay, what have they done to him? Have not looked at him at all. Before, he dealt 3 stages of 100% up to 140 to a single enemy. Now he deals 3 stages of 200 to 240% attack damage each to a single enemy. Okay, so 100% increase. To be honest, I mean, 280 would have been too much. 3 stages. Let me count. 480. Is that 720? Yeah, 720. 720% attack damage on Brave Punch. But Brave Punch, I wish I could see which skill that is. If that is basic, or is it? So now he switches skills, doesn't he? Exclusive 1. Let's see what they've done to his exclusives. Before, under the all-out status, Igor gains Immortal at the start of his own turn for 2 turns because he's self-killed. We know that. Reducing his health deducted at the start of every turn to 20% of max health. All-out will end early if Igor's health is below 20% at the start of his own turn. After they've... Under the all-out status, Igor gains Immortal, so it's the same. The only thing that they've changed is the percentage. So, at the start of every turn, it's 15% now, and it will end if Igor's health is below 15% at the start of his own turn. This one is the interesting one. Before, increases Igor's direct damage by 20% while he is under all-out status, and additionally increases his direct damage by 0.8% for every 1% of max health he has lost or loses, up to 40%. When Igor attacks bosses, increases his direct damage by a fixed 60% while he is under the all-out status. Okay. After, though, it is increased up to 30%. Okay, what's the... 1% for every 1% of max health he loses, up to 30%. I still think they should have kept this at 40. They sort of split it between the two. He's getting a 30% boost straight away. But the more he loses, up to 60%. It was still 60% before, but it's just changed a bit. It's just changed a bit. Is this enough for Igor? Let me just quickly go and check Igor. Okay, I need to go and check Igor. Which skill that is. If that's his basic, I think it is his basic. Okay, but he needs to be in all-out status. See, look, his basic is pretty much going to be as strong as his friggin' active skill. That's 260. 260 there, and that doesn't make sense. What the hell's the point in that? What is the point in that? Why have you done that? Why have you not increased God's anger as well? Why have you only increased it? No. No, that's not right. That's not right. Why would you make the basic attack stronger than his active skill? So it was 250 here. What? 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 Wait, have you only changed it in... Have they already updated it? This is 240. This doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. It's already 240. It's already updated. It says hero adjustment is in 1 day and 9 hours. Okay, well, it's already there. Does that mean Horus has been updated as well? 140 to 330? It has. That's not being updated though, is it? That is 330 now. Normal Crows is 180%. Is that what it was in this? Am I just being stupid, which is normal, but they've changed it already. It's already changed. It's already changed. What? Okay. Alright. So these have already been into effect, but it says ends in 1 day, 9 hours. Wait, or is it a trial period? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what day it is. Okay, mine. Spooky Thunder, before it dealt 220 up to 300% attack damage to a single enemy, deals 10% more damage for every 1 layer of debuff the target has up to 50%. That's now going to be 220 to 300, the same. Deals 15% more damage for every 1 layer of debuff the target has up to 60%. Not a huge change there. Growl. Before it dealt 3 stages of 60 to 80% attack damage to all enemies, and a 40% chance to inflict Horrify for 1 turn. The chance increases by 10% for every 1 layer of debuff, up to 40% after it does deal nearly damage. 120 up to 150 to all enemies, which still isn't enough, but like she is a support as well. She's not like an attacker. Afterward, there's a 6% chance to inflict Horrify. That's a nice chance to inflict Horrify though. Still, a 30% chance increases by 10% for every 1 layer of debuff the target has. Falling Thunder, before my dealt 90 to 120% attack damage to enemy targets with debuffs at the end of a turn. That's now going to be increased from 120 up to 150, which is quite nice. And Striking Thunder deals 200 to 240% attack damage to all enemies, with a 60 to 75% chance to reduce their attack by 40% for 2 turns. That's now going to be 350 to 390% attack damage to all enemies, so that's actually a good amount, with a 75 to 90% chance to reduce their attack by 40% as well. So actually my is actually looking pretty strong there now, especially with this. That's a nice amount of damage going on. And it will be very useful for faction a bit. She was already. Turf, you know I love Turf from back along, right? I always like Turf, but I haven't looked at the rework they've done on him, so I'm going to enjoy this one. Now, before he dealt 100 to 120% attack damage to a single enemy, with a 30 up to 40% chance to inflict 1 layer of poison. That is changing from 120 to 140% attack damage, and a 50 to 70% chance to inflict a layer of poison. And Toxic Body is passive. This is a big one, okay? Increases the direct damage dealt by Turf by 30 to 50% to any target under poison status, okay? So this is his attack. So when he's doing his double toxic strike or his ultimate where he's hitting a few times, his direct damage is increased to any enemy under poison. To any target under poison state. Meanwhile, there is a 30% chance to inflict an extra layer of poison on the attack for 2 turns when he takes direct damage. So whenever he's getting hit, he is going to be putting poison on that enemy. Increases the direct damage dealt by Turf from 50 to 70% to any target under poison status. That's quite nice. Meanwhile, there is a 70% chance to inflict a layer of poison on the attacker for 2 turns when he takes direct damage. Deadly Poison inflicts deep poisoning 1 on the target for 2 turns. Afterwards, dealt 3 stages of 160% attack damage, each to a single enemy, with the same amount of chance to land. But this is going to be increasing the damage, okay? So we've got an extra 20%. So we're going to be doing 180, 360, 540, 540% attack damage. But if we take into consideration the increase of direct damage dealt is going to be at 70% if they have poison on. So it's going to be a 70% increase to 180%. I'm not going to do the maths on that. Although, no, I'm not even going to attempt it right now. But it's a 70% increase to 540% attack damage on using Deadly Poison. Okay, so that's probably about 900%. 900% attack damage, as well as landing poison. That's nothing to shy about. 900% attack damage is a lot. That's a lot of direct damage. Exclusive level 3, before Deadly Poison increases the damage of each layer of poison by 10% when attacking targets under poison status up to 100%. And now it increases the damage of each layer of poison by 20% when attacking targets under poison status up to 100%. Wait. I don't understand this. That each layer of poison increases the damage of each layer of poison by 20% when attacking targets under poison status up to 100%. What? No, what? That doesn't make sense either, because he's not triggering poison. But is he going to increase his poison by 100%? I have to test it. But that is all the heroes being reworked, and some of those are really good, as you just heard. Horus is now going to slap, okay? Gunnar is one you probably want to test just to see how strong his defense damage is. Igor, I'm still on the edge about, I don't know how good this is going to be, but the fact that his Brave Punch has pretty much basically replaced his final skill doesn't make sense to me. But he could be huge in a counter-attack and pursue an attack team now. You don't know. Could be massive with that direct damage. So definitely worth trying out if you've got him built already. Mae will be more useful. She was still useful, just not very useful. So she's going to be more useful now. She'll be doing a bit more damage, which is great. And Turf has had a nice buff. If you still use him, if you remember way back when, he could solo Blue Tower quite far in. So it'd be nice to see how he's doing now. I'll probably will have to test that. But I'll see all of you in the next video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment below to help this channel grow. Don't forget, Carzak TB5 code will be active until the 12th of April. I have written it there, but if for whatever reason you missed it, somehow it's there. There you go. So I'll see all of you in the next one. Take care. Have a fantastic day, even wherever you are. Goodbye.